Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Anchor and Google Podcasts and Spotify and Radio Public and Breaker and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 27 coming soon. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, or YouTube itself. What up, world? So I just watched Joker. It is the new crime, psychological, dramatic origin kind of on, story for the most popular Batman villain of all time. It stars Joaquin Phoenix, Robert De Niro, Zazie Beetz, Francis Conroy, Brian Tyree Henry, Shea Wigham, Bill Camp. I thought I read that Brian Callen was in this movie. I didn't see him. It is directed by, and Mark Maron, it is directed by Todd Phillips, who has directed a lot of really, really popular but really underappreciated comedies. Road Trip, Old School, Starsky and Hutch, School for Scoundrels with Billy Bob Thornton, The Hangover Trilogy, Due Date, and War Dogs. If you want to get a shout out in my review of either The Addams Family or Gemini Man, stay tuned to the end of the video to figure out how you can do that. So, you got Arthur Fleck, who he has some traits about him. He has things about him. He has aspirations. He idolizes talk show host Robert De Niro. He takes care of mother Frances Conroy. He is infatuated with and forms a bond with neighbor Zazie Beetz. He is kicked by the world. He literally and figuratively just gets beat down by life. And this is his descent into madness. See, the big hubbub a year ago when this was announced, this movie's trash off jump. The Joker doesn't have an origin story. I look at this as an Elseworlds. This Joker has an origin story. We get a government name. We get kind of a Killing Joke-esque, failed at his big dream, went crazy with elements of The Dark Knight Returns, with zero Batman. And this isn't your typical comic book movie. As much of not a comic book movie that Logan was, this is even more not really a comic book movie, man. Joker is a term used in the movie. Gotham, Arkham, Wayne are really devices to help justify, in his head, why he makes a few different decisions. And he's a naive character, if that's the right word. He was raised a certain way, and there are details, man. It kind of blows my mind that this was written by Todd Phillips, because there are details that if you're not paying attention you won't catch, that that answer certain questions that I had. And I didn't want to buy into the hype. I knew I wanted to see this, and I knew I'd like it. I mean, that's kind of shitty to say before you see it, but unless it's a Superman 3, Batman and Robin, which I can still sit through, I know I'm gonna like certain movies. This is Joaquin Phoenix you or I have never seen him before. He's in every scene. There are parts with characters that it was completely unexpected. Um, the third act caught me off guard, even though like I knew something was gonna happen in the third act. If you've seen it, you have to know what I'm talking about. But when it still happened, I was caught off guard. My jaw literally dropped. And then there was something with the character that I told my boys. I was like, if this movie does this with Joker, I'll be mad. I'll dislike it. And I can't help but praise it because of the way it was executed. The movie looks great. There are some beautiful shots in this movie. It, I want to keep going. I don't want to spoil anything. Like there are other comic elements that do happen that I liked. There are fuck. I like the geek in me was kind of hoping like I hope they like name dropping Oswald Cobblepot, a Selena Kyle, and Edward Nygma, and they didn't. Like I don't even think Todd Phillips wanted to really connect it because that builds expectations for spin-offs and sequels and a franchise. This can easily be its own one-off story. Like, and I'm telling you, like, don't compare Joaquin Phoenix to Jack Nicholson, Mark Hamill, Heath Ledger, Cesar Romero, Jared Leto, Zach Galifianakis. Just don't, because it's just even like Heath Ledger. Christopher Nolan envisioned Heath Ledger's Joker as what if the Joker existed in the real world. This is in that same mindset, but Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix are two completely different characters. Cause I mean like Heath Ledger basically had the goal to disrupt the system, to show Batman that his way just wasn't the way. And Joaquin Phoenix is a dude like this. It's a character study. It's this lonely, broken guy and his descent into what he becomes at the end. And like there are just certain moments in this movie, like I was telling my boys, like all I have are negative thoughts is like one of the most powerful quotes in this whole story. Obviously, man, whether you're watching Joker, whether you're watching Good Boys, whether you're watching Frozen, whether you're watching The Addams Family, Gemini Man, no matter what you're watching at the theater, man, be safe. Be aware. Know where the exits are. Have a plan. But stop listening to the media. Over the past month, the media has spun nothing but the Joker movie, everybody's on high alert, violence will ensue. I'm not saying it can't, I'm not saying it won't, but the news facilitates like these certain stories. Twitter, your local channels, whatever. It's not even like that type of movie, if you ask me. There are moments of violence. There are a couple scenes that are unsettling, and from start to finish, like it still kind of blows my mind that this is a Todd Phillips directed movie. Like props to everybody involved. I feel like Todd Phillips wanted to show everybody like I'm not just old school. I'm not just a hangover. I can make a serious movie. And on the low, he's not wrong about his quotes about comedy. I'm sorry, he's just not. Like everybody's offended by everything in 2019. But with all that being said, man, in my opinion, I will say that Joker is dope as fuck. I loved it. I want to see it again, and I have a busy October. I just don't know if I'll have time. Have you seen Joker? What did you think about it, man? Positive, negative, somewhere in between. Let me know. Who's your favorite theatrical cinematic Joker too? I rambled them off a couple minutes ago, man. Jack Nicholson, Cesar Romero, Mark Hamill, Zach Galifianakis, Heath Ledger, Jared Leto, Joaquin Phoenix. Addams Family and Gemini Man next weekend. The weekend after that, Zombieland and Maleficent. I've posted reviews for Rambo, for Abominable, for whatever came out with Rambo. I can't remember. Hustlers, September reviews, Rec League Pod episode 27. We're going to talk Joker among other news topics, sports, hip hop, bars. If you want that shout out in my review of Addams Family or Gemini Man, how much will Joker make opening weekend, man? Within $2 million, higher or lower. Be the first, be the closest. You get shouted on Sunday, man. Noon Central Time Sunday. So like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.